you didn't show up today with HIV, AIDS, any of them deadly sexually transmitted diseases that'll make you die in 2-3 weeks, put a cell phone like that up. Fellas.
Lights up.
Fellas, if you ain't sucking dick, put your cell phone like that.
Let's be real.
You know, my family is built on legacy. You know, if I let that slide, that shit slide from my son, from my grandson. I'ma love them to death, but I won't support marriage. I'm not giving my child away to another woman.
What do you think about same-sex marriage?
It's a sin.
You think it's a sin? So you think I'm sinful?
What's that?
You think I'm sinful because I'm married to a man?
Yeah.
You do?
Yes, you're sinning. You are in a sinful relationship. I actually don't believe marriage can be between two men.
You can't blame me for not want to have gay. I'm trying to raise men.
Yeah.
I even watch cartoons before my son watch it. Like, boy, this ain't it. Because the cartoon is loaded right now with a lot of gay shit.
But you have to understand with a lot of black families, you could do all that sheltering, cartoon watching, revising different things. You have to work out in your gym that are gay. Yeah. You have men that play football that are gay. Yeah. Probably 70% of them. Because a lot of black men battle with them demons so bad in their spirit that they just don't even know about. And that's why they try to suppress us. But that's another conversation for another time.
And one thing has always disappointed me, black people treat gay people, we are the worst when it comes to treating gay people. And that's one thing growing up, it really always bothers me. And I want to reach out to you and all my gay friends, all my transgender friends, and tell you, man, I got nothing but love and respect for you. I want you to be you. And I wanted you to know that day, because I understand being black, what it's like being gay, because you get mistreated, and it's really unfortunate and sad and stupid, to be honest with you.
Vlogmas Day 9. Why are so many black people homophobic?
I just saw a video where someone was talking about things they're afraid to admit as a black person, and they said that black people are a lot more homophobic, and everyone was mad at them in the comments. And I'm sorry, y'all, but we need to have this conversation because it is very true. Like, I cannot say black people are as a whole more homophobic and transphobic, but they're definitely a lot more open about it. And like, just to give a story time, and I know one experience does not an entire community make, but it paints a picture. A very common picture. When I was starting off at UT Austin, there were like a bunch of group meets to like meet people and for specific communities. And I was in the black group meet and I was in a queer group meet. And I lasted in the black group meet for 2 days because it took 2 days for them to start being violently homophobic and everyone just either agreeing or staying silent. And I just had to leave because in a group meet of hundreds of people, I think it might have been approaching 1,000 people. No one said anything like, hey, this is not okay. Why would you be saying that? And UT Austin is a liberal university, and they felt comfortable saying these things. And if you think black people are not more open about their homophobia, just ask a random black woman how she feels about bisexual men or dating a bisexual man, or just how she feels about gay men in general. I have faced so much more homophobia from the black community than I have from white people. And I don't prefer it in white queer spaces. I am not in white queer spaces. The entire time I was in college, I was only in spaces for queer people of color. But the black community is a lot more openly homophobic than any white person I've ever encountered. And we should be talking about this. And y'all will get defensive and say that I'm promoting stereotypes or whatever. It's not a stereotype if it's the truth. I'm sorry. Y'all need to listen to black queer people when we talk about our experiences.
I kind of want to give my insight on how I feel about everything. The blatant homophobia within the black community has persisted for many decades. As a young gay black man growing up, I was forced to question my identity. I used to ask myself, should I prioritize my blackness or my sexual orientation? As a community, it took me years to come to terms with my sexuality because I believed it to be morally wrong to be gay. Growing up, the people around me treated homosexuality as a sin. Along with religion, the hypermasculinity within the black community forced me to hide anything that may make me appear gay. Being black in America is already a constant struggle, being subjected to things like police brutality, stereotypes, mass incarceration, and microaggressions. Okay, so I cannot get past this conversation without talking about, parents having like this thing where it's like toxic masculinity when it comes to black men.
Now we're gonna shut on you getting your ass beat. This what to him. We do shit, but it don't help right here.
You said you're what? Say it again. Say it one more time.
And he like that shit.
You like it. And you doing the most.
You still doing gay shit. You think this on the side of your head for no reason?
Is that what you think? Is on the side of your head for no reason? So why you just said that gay ass shit, bro?
Even with straight black men growing up, we don't really have the opportunity to get like coddled. Like we're always told to, be strong and stop crying or, stop this or whatever and that and third. And it's like you do one little thing that's feminine or whatever and they just go crazy.
They're black men. You are the only men on this planet that as little boys, you don't get to be nurtured and treated like a child, like a baby, like someone's thing that needs to be loved and hugged and kissed and told that we love you. Because a lot of times, especially black men, they're not allowed to even show their emotions, even when they're young, and get told like, oh, you gotta man up and you gotta this, you got that, and you gotta be the man of the house before you even, you know what I'm saying?
Like, it's two instances I want to talk about today, y'all. One of them, it's a situation that happened 3 years ago, y'all. A lady basically bought her child a kitchen set and she put it on Facebook. Whole debate on it, y'all. Some parents were saying, like, don't buy your son a kitchen set or whatever because it's going to make him gay. Buy him a tool set. Like, it's just weird how some people, like, really think like this. Like, it's crazy. Like, I remember growing up, and I used to be around certain family members or whatever. And if they was to see me washing dishes or what else I would do, clean up or whatever. Oh, no, that's for girls. That's for girls. Like, y'all be surprised. Like, it's crazy. And I'm pretty sure there's some black households that raise their children like that. Like, they get the girls to cook and clean and do all this stuff or whatever. And they just tell the boys, they probably can take out the trash, but you're not allowed to do certain things because that's quote unquote feminine. And I just think that's the dumbest shit in the world because eventually them young men got to go out there in the real world. They got to eventually learn how to cook and clean and all that stuff. So I don't know. I just think that's the weirdest thing ever to put it's like they put gender labels on certain shit.
You can't blame me for not want to have gay. I'm trying to raise men.
Yeah.
I even watch cartoons before my son watch it. Like, boy, this ain't it. Because the cartoon is loaded right now with a lot of gay shit.
But you have to understand with a lot of black families, you could do all that sheltering, cartoon watching, revising different things. You have work out in your gym that are gay. Yeah. You have men that play football that are gay. Yeah. Probably 70% of them. Because a lot of black men battle with them demons so bad in their spirit that they just don't even know about. And that's why they try to suppress us. But that's another conversation for another time. You could do all that revising. You could do all that looking at a cartoon before he watch it. You could do all the opening up the ice cream to make sure it's not a rainbow in there. And at the end of the day, his sexuality is still going to speak for itself. Not necessarily saying your side. Because I'm not just speaking on your son. I'm saying in general, his sexuality is still going to speak for what it wants to speak for.
Watch this though. Me and you talked about this in the gym the other day. Why are two gay feminine men allowed to adopt a 2-year-old boy? 9 times out of 10, what is he going to be?
He going to be gay.
That's not.
It's a lot to unpack here with that clip we just watched. First of all, it was very ignorant and very small-minded. And this is why I'm afraid for a lot of black kids that's growing up because they have parents like this.
Everybody in high school be like, yo, you acting like, dawg, you gay? And I used to deal with that when I was in high school. And what happened is it made me kind of like homophobic because it's like I would like go back and like question myself, like, damn, why does everybody else walk like this and I walk like this? So why is it you start just looking, because you don't realize until you're in high school. People like, yo, fam, look at you. Look at how you act. If you see something and you don't want to be that because it's such a negative connotation towards it, you try to separate yourself from it so much that it made me homophobic. By the time I was through high school, like anybody that was gay, I was like, yo, get away from me. And really, like Tupac said, started hanging with the thugs, and you look up, and all my friends were like really thugged out. And it's kind of like I was racing to try to find that constant masculine role model right there, to the point where it's like I would really discriminate. Like I used the word was condescending towards gays and look down upon gays. And I remember my cousin told me that another one of my cousins was gay. And at that point, it's kind of when the turning point where I was like, yo, just my cousin, I love him, like, and I've been discriminating against gays. It's like, do I discriminate against my cousin? And then everything starts to click, you know, he brings his partner with him to, like, Thanksgiving and all that. And you just had to sit back and think, like, damn, you know, hip-hop really is about, it seemed like it's about, like, fighting for your rights in the beginning, about speaking your mind and about breaking down barriers or whatever. But everybody in hip-hop discriminates against gay people. To me, like, that's one of the standards of hip-hop, is to be like, yo, you fag, you gay. Matter of fact, the exact opposite word of hip-hop, I think, is gay. Like, yo, you play a record and it's like whack, that's gay, dog. You know, if it's good, that's that hip-hop right there. You see what I'm saying? It's like the exact opposite. So it's like me speaking for my entire culture, or me looking at my rappers out there, hip-hoppers discriminate against gay people. Mm-hmm. They feel like they can't act. Hold on one second. Everybody, don't throw me off. I really want to say this. I want to say this to America. I want to...
Speak your mind.
No, he was just throwing me off just slightly. I wanted this to just come on TV and just tell my rappers, just tell my friends, like, yo, stop it, fam. Mm-hmm. Like seriously, that's really discrimination. To me, that's exactly what they used to do to black people. I'm just trying to tell people, just stop all that.
Y'all, this was back in 2005. I'm pretty sure it wasn't even a lot of hip-hop artists coming out defending us, so I appreciate him for that.
I think there's a lot of focus on gender roles in black family culture. Obviously understand that we aren't a monolith. There are different stories that exist within this culture where there's going to be outliers to everything that I say. A very positive example is, you know, my brother went with my fiance to go pick up my engagement ring, you know, so there are black queer couples who are flourishing and families that are absolute allies. So, of course, they do exist. This is not a self-hate towards my community. I love being black and I love my community very much. But there is no denying that there is absolutely a focus on gender roles within black culture. I grew up always watching my mum be the one to cook and bring my dad the food and then bring him a bowl to wash his hands. The Africanness of my family certainly exists in those gender binary roles. I was actually thinking this. My dad's since passed away, and I don't think I would have come out until my dad passed away, because I think the idea of me being queer would have been honestly just so ridiculous to him, and it could have broken up our family unit. I don't think I've ever admitted that before. That's insane. But I'm only saying it because it's just me and you. It's just me and you. But yeah, in African culture, there isn't so much a push as it is the norm for men to be men and women to be women. And you know exactly what I mean when I say that. We could dissect it if we want to, but why waste time? We know what I mean. And then these men will go on to marry those women who will then go on to have children. And if you happen to give birth to a guy, he will, you know, do more labor focused tasks, and the women will do more cleaning and cooking focused tasks. It's just continuation of that sort of strict gender binary role that is quite prevalent in a lot of African culture. And I actually think there's a crossover there to Asian culture, certainly South Asia. Feel free to chime in there if I'm wrong, but I definitely think there's a crossover there. So it's embedded in quite a few cultures. It's like, your purpose is to make the guy's life as easy as possible by serving, feeding, etc. Now, I obviously don't subscribe to that culture. I think a lot of our generation don't, but I also don't judge people who do. It's a lot easier to judge a culture you're not part of. Growing up this way, I have a lot of respect for my family and other families who grew up with these strict systems, if it works for them, of course, even if it's completely not the way in which I choose to live my life now. I feel like, because there's such a push for black men to be masculine within our cultures, in a way that some would even describe toxic. Therefore, being queer feels not only like letting go of that masculinity, but it's actually like subscribing to being feminine. It's a really backwards way of thinking, but it's quite honest. This is the best thing I can do. I can give you honest viewpoints, which you can go, well, that's not right. And that we know that. That's so easy to do, to say, well, I don't agree with it, that's not right. But when you're talking about different cultures, different things, and different ways of living, I think it's just too easy to go, this is right and this is wrong, as opposed to this is just what happens here. You can learn from it and we can conversate from there. But yeah, absolutely. In some cultures, unfortunately, black men being gay is equated to instant feminization. Like, this is erasure of masculinity. You know, men sleep with women, and if you aren't doing that, where's your daddy? Insert the jokes again, but that's really where it comes from. It's this idea that you don't have a stable home life, your dad's not there, and that's why you are being with men. I think it's backwards thinking for sure, but I think it's really important that I say it unfiltered so we can really talk about it. Like, let's get a bit uncomfortable. It's the only way something exciting happens. Nothing happened.
I implore you.
Implore away.
Please. Please. You're all going to die down